TyTy Washington was once a talented 5-star recruit on the way to Kentucky, and after a relatively successful freshman year, he was selected 29th overall in the 2022 draft by the Memphis Grizzlies. Unfortunately for TyTy, being drafted by the Grizzlies was the start of a miserable time for him in the NBA. Fast forward to present day, and since then, TyTy's been traded 4 times in only 14 months, and on August 18th, he was waived by the OKC Thunder, officially putting him out of the NBA only a year after being selected in the first round. The question is, why? Why does no NBA team want a 21-year-old 1 year removed from the first round of the draft? How's it going, my friend? I'm Alexander from Load Management Media, and let's talk about it. The brief NBA career of TyTy Washington is a puzzling story. In very rare circumstances is a player drafted in the first round of the draft out of the league the very next year. And usually the rare time this could be the case, you would think it's for some extremely bad reason. Number 1, the player has attitude problems. Number 2, he's sustained a career-ending injury. Or number 3, he just sucks. But honestly, with TyTy, none of these have been the case. In fact, TyTy was once a highly touted 5-star recruit who was brought in by John Calipari at Kentucky. He had a solid freshman year as well, and if it weren't for some injuries and a bad loss to St. Peter's in the first round of March Madness, he might have went top 10. Before the draft, Bleacher Report even compared him to D'Angelo Russell. That's not bad. And even still, a lot of mock drafts during the draft cycle had TyTy going in about the 15 to 20 range before the draft, but eventually he slipped down to 29th overall. On June 23rd, Washington was drafted 29th overall by the Memphis Grizzlies in the 2022 NBA draft. But due to a proposed trade a few days before, TyTy was to go to Minnesota. But 2 days after the draft, on June 25th, TyTy was traded to the Rockets for the 26th pick in the 2022 NBA draft, Wendell Moore. And Houston would be where TyTy would spend his entire rookie season. He'd already been traded twice before his NBA career even started. Unfortunately, TyTy missed the first 12 games of the season with a knee injury he picked up in training camp. But even after he recovered from that knee injury, in Houston, TyTy was given zero opportunity. Amongst the mounds of young players in Houston, TyTy wasn't deemed to be one that deserved minutes under Stephen Silas. Or at least that's the way it seemed, because he only featured in 31 games and only averaged 14 minutes per. And most of these minutes were in complete garbage time or times when the team was getting battered early in the game. Rarely did he ever get any meaningful minutes with the Rockets. Because of this, TyTy found no rhythm at all during his time with the Rockets. In his 31 games, he averaged 5 points per game on 36% from the field. If you'd never seen TyTy play before the Rockets, you would have forgot about him being drafted first round because he never touched the court. Where he did get his opportunity though was in the G League, and this is where he showed how talented he still was, and that the Rockets were just being flat out stupid not playing him. TyTy played a few games here and there through the G League season to start. Overall, throughout the Showcase tourney and the G League regular season, TyTy averaged 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. But where he really proved how talented he was during the G League playoffs. During the playoffs, TyTy put up 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists per game, helping take the Rio Grande Valley Vipers to the G League Finals. Honestly, he was doing everything. He was scoring off the dribble, getting to the bucket, setting up his teammates. Really, he showed his full talent, the stuff that made him such an interesting player coming out of Kentucky. But weirdly enough, after one season and barely giving TyTy a sniff, Houston decided they'd seen enough. On July 3rd, TyTy was shipped to the Atlanta Hawks for essentially nothing. A guy that was just a first round pick, gone, just like that. And honestly, when he got traded to the Hawks, I thought it was a decent destination. He could still develop with them, be a backup point guard to Trae Young and learn some things there, but I guess that was not the plan at all. Just 4 days later, TyTy was traded again, for this time almost less than nothing to the OKC Thunder. And during his time at OKC, he got even less of an opportunity. He was thrust into 2 summer league games after being traded, games where really nothing happened. And that seemed like it was it for then. He'd work with OKC in the summer and fight for a spot in their rotation in the fall. But, yet again, that wasn't the case. On August 18th, 2023, TyTy was waived by the OKC Thunder, along with his Rockets teammate who was also traded with him to Atlanta and OKC, Usman Garuba. And just like that, in 14 months, TyTy went from a promising first round pick to out of the NBA faster than you could say Dylan Brooks is a bum. But why truly was TyTy tossed away by not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 NBA teams? What really happened? In all honesty, it was just wrong place, wrong time. With Memphis and Minnesota, they had their mind made up pre-draft that they were going to draft other guys, which happens. Really, it all started in Houston. In Houston, TyTy was drafted into an organization that had no idea what they were doing developing their young players, and now they still don't. And they already had a bunch of young guards anyway, like Jalen Green, KPJ, Daishen Nix, Josh Christopher, so it wasn't the ideal situation from the jump. Especially once he got hurt in training camp, it made it that much harder for him to catch up and earn minutes once the season started. In Atlanta, it was just clear he wasn't wanted. Unfortunately, in the NBA, you don't choose where you get traded, and the Hawks just drafted Kobe Buffkin as their backup point guard anyway. Once he got traded to OKC, I mean, everyone knew he wasn't going to have much of a role anyway, because their team is filled with established guards, and they're trying to take that next step as a franchise. Wrong place, wrong time. What I don't understand is why these teams don't want him. He's a smart player, still only 21 with extremely high offensive upside. I'm sure some NBA team will get him on a two-way or something, but it's not what he deserves. He's barely had a sniff. I've been a really big fan of TyTy for at least the past year, and I still think he can be a really productive NBA point guard. He's just going to need the opportunity. But now his path is just going to be that much more difficult, and he's just going to have to work that much harder. For TyTy's sake, I pray he proves everyone wrong and shows everybody that he's still a really quality NBA player. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed. Going forward with this channel, I'm going to be covering the most interesting young players in the NBA exclusively, so if you really like the most exciting up-and-coming young players, some of the more established, well-known young players, we're going to be talking about it all here on this channel. I hope I can put you on some really cool young guys that are up-and-coming and that are going to be stars. And also, I hope we can just talk about some of the more exciting young players who are doing their thing. So if that interests you, consider hitting a like and a sub. And as always, stay rested. See you in the next one.